Half of all 13 to 14-year-olds have watched a beheading video online, and nearly a third of all child suicides in the last 7 years mentioned the young person's online activity.
Very nice to meet you, Secretary of State.
Thank you very
Kendall.
much for doing this.
We joined the Technology Secretary, Liz Kendall, at a school in London to hear directly from teenagers themselves.
If you ever wanted teenagers to be against a law or proposed new policy, you're always going to present them with someone like Liz Kendall or anyone within the orbit of Sir Keir Rodney Starmer. These are the worst people to go out and advocate for anything slightly positive and for the benefit of our young people in this country.
I'm as real as a real can get. What you see?
Buongiorno, Freaks and Geeks, welcome back to the channel. So if you live in the UK, how's the heat? Personally, I'm absolutely convinced we are not equipped for climate change. And that makes me sad for future generations. Oh well. With that in mind, where are we moving to? The Caribbean? Central Africa? Hell, I might even go Japan at this point. But we're not here to discuss my angst with UK heat. Instead, we're going to be looking at a Channel 4 report on social media. More specifically, whether social media should be banned for children. Full disclosure, I very much hate social media, which is the main reason I don't promote any of my social media handles on this channel anymore, mainly because the internet is so vast, which means there are some very good and some very bad things, but somehow social media managed to distill all of the worst aspects of living on this planet into a centralized place. And this is despite the small trinkets that you may find on there. Case in point, Black Twitter or Black Instagram. I mean, my brother sent me a video the other day of a man absolutely losing his mind because people told him he couldn't cook a brisket.
Ain't no what? Ain't no what? Nigga, hold on. Whole brisket, nigga. Whole brisket, nigga. Fuck y'all talking about, nigga. Fuck y'all talking about, nigga. Let this go viral, nigga. Let this go viral, nigga. Yeah, nigga. Let that go viral.
If all videos were like that on social media, I would not be advocating or supporting a ban for under 18-year-olds. But anyway, let's get straight into this video. But before we do, please don't forget to hit the buttons for like, subscribe, and tell me down below, why shouldn't social media be banned for minors?
It's taken nearly 3 months, but today a group of parents who blame social media for the deaths of their children were finally granted an audience with the Prime Minister. On this, the final day of the government's consultation into kids' safety online that could, within weeks, see apps like TikTok and Instagram be banned for children under 16.
Oh, so it's under 16-year-olds, which kind of took me by surprise. But if we're able to recruit 16-plus-year-olds to go and kill people overseas, why shouldn't they be exposed to some social media brain rot?
If someone said that my child intentionally took his life, he did not. He was taken by big tech.
If there is no evidence of the child leaving a note of their intention to die by suicide, why would you say that about a child? That's super weird if she did get those messages. But yeah.
For Lisa, it's been a long and painful struggle. Her son Isaac was 13 when he died after attempting a blackout challenge on social media in 2022.
What the hell is going on? I must have missed it, but then again, what the hell would I be looking at a challenge for 13-year-olds in 2022? I was still reeling from the damage I received during the COVID pandemic. So yeah.
He came home from school, went to his bedroom as normal. I called for dinner. He wasn't in his bedroom. The bathroom door was locked. And then basically I found him unresponsive. They worked on him continuously, but we lost him the next morning. So within 24 hours, we lost our beautiful boy that had no intentions of leaving this earth.
Aye. The fact that this woman can even come on television and speak about that, gosh, that takes absolutely enormous amount of strength. I don't think I could ever. Yeah, no, it's definitely Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Tragically, cases like Isaac's are becoming more common. So much so, Britain's leading doctors now call social media addiction a public health emergency. And in their response to the consultation, they revealed that almost half of GPs say they treat young people with medical problems linked to screen use multiple times a week.
I mean, like, I don't know why this surprises anyone. Like, we kind of saw this on the horizon. Like, humans have various different addictive behavior, and the younger they are exposed to it, the more powerful the addiction is. So why would we not believe social media, which is literally in the palm of your hands? Why would that not be as addictive as online gambling for adults? Like, this should not be a surprise at all. The only thing that I would question is, what are you going to do about it? I mean, don't get me wrong, I definitely support the government's changing the law to stop adults born after a certain time, I can't remember what year it is, from ever being able to buy cigarettes. But then again, I would argue that was 30 years too late. How did it take so long to get to that place when we know how damaging cigarette smoking really is? I mean, at some point, you have to just take the decision out of the citizens' hands. Come on, personal responsibility can only stretch so far before you tip into just miseducation.
In a survey, they discovered that 13 is the average age a child in the UK first sees pornography, and almost 60% see it by accident.
Wasn't doing that before. I mean, how would a child accidentally stumble into their parents' secret stash of porno mags underneath their bed and see naked women or naked men by accident? It's just so much easier given the advent of social media. And that's not to mention the absolute ghouls that we have controlling the various tech giants at the moment. Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, and I don't know who's controlling TikTok at the moment, but these are absolute monsters who, in case you were wondering, are doing it for the money. If you want to know why no one's done anything about tech giants up until this point, it's because of all of the cash floating around, whether you see it publicly or whether it's been done behind closed doors. Like Jules said in Pulp Fiction, there are unknown unknowns, and I would say big tech has been funneling politicians money for the longest time. Not to mention, they don't pay their fair share of tax. Imagine that, you're making billions and you still don't pay your fair share of tax. Why are we putting up with this type of behavior?
Half of all 13 to 14-year-olds have watched a beheading video online, and nearly a third of all child suicides in the last 7 years mentioned the young person's online activity.
Very nice to meet you, Secretary of State.
Thank you very
Kendall.
much for doing this.
We joined the Technology Secretary Liz Kendall at a school in London to hear directly from teenagers themselves.
If you ever wanted teenagers to be against a law or proposed new policy, you're always going to present them with someone like Liz Kendall or anyone within the orbit of Sir Keir Rodney Starmer. These are the worst people to go out and advocate for anything slightly positive and for the benefit of our young people in this country.
Don't be worried about what you say. You can say anything. I really do want to hear.
How about you are a vacuous human being that is propping up the worst prime minister this country has seen in the last 50 years? Can that go on record, please, Liz Kendall?
No surprise they weren't big fans of a social media ban, despite knowing how addictive the technology is.
Why would they? They just got here. They're like 13, 14-year-olds. They are baby human beings. Why the hell would they ever advocate for anything that takes away their fun? Especially when you shove them in an educational system that doesn't actually prepare them for being fully rounded and four-dimensional human beings.
the addiction for most young people now is it's like out of hand. It's too much, and even in school, at lunch and at break, they feel like they need to check their social medias.
It's becoming something that everybody relies on now. So it's something that's like an escape from everything and from your problems.
I think a ban would cause like teenagers to...
Civil uprising? Imagine that is what overthrows the government in this country. Teenagers saying, you can't take away our social media. Also, what the hell is happening in these schools? Don't they put their mobile phones in a box at the beginning of the day? Like, why do they need it during the day, their smartphones? You trying to tell me there's better security at a Dave Chappelle comedy stand-up gig than there are in our secondary schools? Well, and primary schools probably. But yeah, definitely our secondary schools in this country. That's quite concerning.
Teenagers to find unsafe ways to get on social media. So I feel like it would be more dangerous to have a ban.
But Liz Kendall has heard from many more who think a ban is the only option, plus restrictions on addictive features like algorithms and doom scrolling.
Algorithms are absolutely the bane of everybody's lives. But again, what do you expect when evil billionaires are trying to make more money? They're going to peddle stuff to you that they know will keep you online longer and longer and be able to sell your data to whoever is putting up the cash. I'm not sure how you can prevent doom scrolling unless you put a limit on how much you can scroll up and down. But again, why do you think social media platforms allow doom scrolling? Because the more you doom scroll, the more data they are gathering, and the more data they are gathering, they can pass on to people who will inevitably try and sell you more stuff. This is capitalism 101 right now.
Are you close to a decision? Do you know in your heart now where you're going with this?
Look, the consultation's just closed and I have to do my job. I wouldn't have had it if I'd made my mind up. I wouldn't have had a consultation.
Yeah, that's absolute bollocks. Do you think someone with as much power as Liz Kendall, who is clearly not self-aware, hadn't already formulated a plan in their minds as to what they were going to do next? This consultation is simply a box-ticking exercise, just dotting the I's and crossing the T's, but they already made up their mind before they decided to do a consultation. Definitely, this is how powerful people, especially in a system like this where there is no real democracy, this is how they make decisions. And in my opinion, they just wasted money on a consultation when they already knew what they were going to do.
We will come forward with our proposals before the summer, and if legislation is required, we'll get it done by the end of the year.
What do you say to those people who are worried that the tech giants have had too much influence on you? These guys have a lot of money and a lot of influence.
What I would do
and
is
a lot
say,
of lobbying power.
As the suffragettes would say, you know, deeds not words. And if you look at the action that I have personally taken since becoming Secretary of State, you will see that I am prepared always to take action, and I've always said I'll go further if it's required, and it is required.
Yeah, I don't know what action she's actually talking about. The only thing I could find is that she banned, or she gave a speech at least on preventing AI from recreating videos with real people in them, but that's about it, unless I'm missing something. Also, she just said at the end of that clip, more action is required, so that also indicates to me that she's made up her mind. She knows what she wants to do. This consultation was simply a formality, and they will come out with their proposals, which they had pre-written before they even embarked on pretending to listen to companies, to parents, to children, and all the rest of it.
Perhaps unsurprisingly, the tech industry says a blanket ban would create more harm than good.
I think if you start regulating platforms, the government might end up playing a whack-a-mole, where more services crop up, the government has to regulate and ban them. And that's a reactive approach from the government. What the government needs to do is be proactive, work with tech companies, work with parents, work with children to understand which features cause the most harm and regulate those.
Oh, shock horror. A person representing Tech UK is not on the side of the normal citizen. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what did you think she was going to come on and say? Yes, I believe that you should ban these tech companies, and especially for under 16-year-olds, when they know probably under 16-year-olds are not only generating some of the biggest revenue they ever see, but will be generating the biggest income. Once you got your little hooks into them, the biggest income these companies will see going forward for the next 20 years. What? Come on, man. What are we doing?
Keir Starmer told the families today that proposals would come within weeks. But having lobbied for years, do they now trust him to act?
I wouldn't. For him to say that proposals will come in weeks, if you have done a proper consultation, it takes longer than a few weeks to have proposals, unless you did the proposals before you even embarked on this consultation period. That's number one. And number two, I wouldn't believe anything Keir Starmer had to say. Even if I could feel heat right behind me, I wouldn't believe Keir Starmer if he told me the building behind me was on fire. I would have to check it for myself, even if my clothes were singeing. Also, what is he still doing around? Why is he still in his role? Shouldn't he be gone by now?
Oh gosh, you're sort of asking the wrong person, because I'm a slight cynic, because I've been doing it for 12 years. I hope so.
He's going to deliver some change. Whether it's what we all want remains to be seen.
Yeah, who knows what this change may be. He may follow the Australian model, or he might go even further. But again, I will say, at this point, Keir Starmer is a lame duck Prime Minister, especially if Andy Burnham manages to win his by-election. If Andy Burnham wins that by-election, it's a matter of time before a leadership bid is made, and Keir Starmer's going straight out the door. Even though I don't believe Andy Burnham's as different from Keir Starmer as everyone has led us to believe, apart from obviously their quite distinct accents. At least Andy Burnham's accent has some character, whereas Keir Starmer just sounds like a complete and utter robot. I hate him.
I do feel that he's going to make changes. I hope those changes are big enough, because he's the one that could do it for us.
The social media firms say they're making changes to make their platforms safer. But the growing sense is those changes have been too little, too late.
Okay, so there is more to that video, but if I continue watching, we're going to be here for another hour.
But a social media ban is the wrong answer to the right question. It actually means turning social media websites into digital ID checkpoints for the whole population. No one's talking about that, but it's really important.
On the point of privacy, that actually, if they weren't taking the kids' data, if they weren't using it to profile the kids, if they weren't powering the attention economy using our children, you know, the nation's children, they would be much safer. And
the problem we have at the moment is that parents are buying phones for their children and quite often using them as pacifiers for their children.
So I'll just give my thoughts here. It's very optimistic of that last contribution from that parent that she believed Keir Starmer is going to make big changes. I don't know whether Keir Starmer will be around to even be able to implement these recommendations and changes. But again, I will say, if Keir Starmer wanted to make changes, he could do that tomorrow. Such is the size of his majority in the House of Commons. So why isn't Keir Starmer making these changes? I will have to reiterate, follow the money. We saw that little slick mention at the end of this report that social media companies are trying their best to make things safer. Why did they not do it beforehand. Why do their hands always have to be forced? Because they want the money. If you don't regulate these people, if you don't keep them in line, they will take a mile when you're only giving them an inch. Do I care if they ban social media for under 16-year-olds? Hell no, they should, in my opinion. And I know there is the argument that, oh, in order to ban 16-year-olds, we may have to provide our our actual ID, like upload our ID onto these social media platforms. I won't be doing it. I will just delete my accounts. And guess what? If that happens, these social media companies get less money. That puts a massive smile on my face, because they are the most evil things right now, especially when it comes to changing people's minds, sending them down rotten rabbit holes to go and join, whether it's Nazis, whether it's Red Pill, whether it's Professor Yang. All of these things are because of social media and the algorithm that they have built and this doom scrolling culture. Any way we can stop our future generations from becoming addicted to a brain rotting culture is a thumbs up for me. Anyway, that's what I think. What do you think? Tell me down below. I would love to read it. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. If you like audiobooks, I voiced one on spotting red flags early in relationships. Link in the description below. I always recommend people just come offline and go outside and touch grass. Maybe not in this heat in the UK, but once things cool down, or even the evening, go out and touch grass. It will do you wonders. As I like to say, once we understand politics, we will make better choices. Please don't forget to hit the buttons for like, subscribe, and I will see you very, very soon. Ciao.